There was no God. There was no Jesus in Africa. It was dark continent. Everyone was going and was living in the darkness. But I also read that some churches in Europe and America accepted to obey the Great Commission, and some brethren from the churches, some brethren who heard the voice of God and who obeyed that voice, left their countries. They left their comforts. They left. There was a lot of food, like here in Nigeria you have a lot of food. There was good food, maybe a lot of food in Europe and America, but they left. There was better medicines. There was good health care in Europe and America. But those brethren left there and they came to Africa, where it was a bush. There were no hospitals. In fact, some of the missionaries who came here, they died. Like the ones who came to East Africa, they died of malaria. There was a very bad malaria in East Africa when they came. But missionaries came. They came to Africa and they preached the gospel. They brought us the light of the gospel. Those were like 100 years, 150 or rather 200 years ago. And they preached to us. They preached in West Africa. They preached in South Africa. They preached in East Africa and some parts of North Africa. And today we are all witnesses that Africa is no longer a dark continent. No longer a dark continent. But there is a lot of light in Africa. I mean, there are big churches in Africa. There are some of the largest churches in the world are found here in West Africa, I tell you. So Africa is no longer dark. They cannot say again that this is a dark continent, because look at what we have here. We have churches in Africa. We have Christians in Africa. We have the gospel in Africa, because some men obeyed the Great Commission. They came to a dark people, to a dark continent, and the power of the gospel has turned the whole thing around. And today we have Christians, we have evangelists, we have missionaries coming out of Africa, and they are going back to Europe and America, and they are preaching the gospel there again. Amen. Someone told me that there is a very big church in Austria that is pastored by someone, I think from Nigeria or Ghana or wherever. A big church in Austria, in Europe, that is pastored by someone from here, from West Africa. And we thank God. And that came because that has been able to take place because someone or some people obeyed the Great Commission and they left. They came here. Today we are no longer walking in darkness. So the people who walked in